I was pruning my orchard when Karen Miller, HOA tyrant, marched onto my ranch, waving a violation notice and sneering, "Renters like you don't belong here." She demanded I vacate my own farmhouse, claiming my unapproved landscaping violated HOA rules. Her smug dismissal was a bombshell. She didn't know I wasn't a renter, but a federal inspector who owned my land outright and, through my investment firm, held a mortgage on her very home. Karen, who demolished my sister's bridge, sent an armed thug to my wife, and plugged my sewage outlet, had overstepped again, targeting my private county land outside her HOA's reach. She was clueless that my cameras caught her trespass. My deed was ironclad, and I, Sarah, the farmer, Meadow Mart owner, conservationist, SWAT trainer, and federal health inspector, controlled her mortgage's fate. Her notice wasn't just a lie, it was extortion, and I was about to flip the script with a financial knockout. I stood on my porch, phone filming, as Karen ranted about renter scum. Neighbors, overhearing her, gathered, stunned. This wasn't just an insult. It was Karen's most delusional attack, blind to my ownership and power. My pulse raced, but a smirk grew. She thought she could evict me? I was about to turn her dismissal into a viral takedown, with her mortgage as my trump card. What unfolded wasn't just proving my title. It was a masterclass in property rights, financial leverage, and community strength that left Karen humbled, her HOA shattered, and Crescent Meadows empowered. My farmhouse wasn't just a home. It was her undoing, and her mortgage was my checkmate. Karen's notice was her dumbest move, and my firm was about to foreclose on her ego. Crescent Meadows was a spirited suburb, its blooming orchards, sturdy fences, and my Meadow Mart cafe, a bold stand against Karen Miller's HOA tyranny. Once burdened by bans on unapproved landscaping and renter violations, it now thrived, with my 50-acre state-leased ranch and my farmhouse on unincorporated county land as its core. My property, fully owned through my investment firm, was HOA exempt, backed by a deed, and protected by county and federal law. I'm Sarah, the farmer, conservationist, SWAT trainer, Meadow Mart owner, and federal health inspector who'd crushed Karen 33 times, buying Meadow Mart after a farm stand ban, exposing her assault on Lily, stopping her fishing derby, evicting her fishing club, jailing fake HOA cops, rallying for a pilot's defiance, retrieving my tow tractor, shutting down her cop call on my fence, backing Ibrahim Traore, ejecting her security patrol, protecting the Thompsons, winning court for my wrecked car, defending my mom's cold stand, exposing her 911 call on Senator Ellison, grounding her airline stunt, nailing her bank meddling, restoring my water pipe, towing her SUV, saving my mom's nurse, rescuing Emma from her kidnapping, saving Liam from her brick attack, foiling her field grab, scaring her with my bear, Bruno, defending Emma's wheelchair, stopping her 911 call on my ranch, saving Max from her clippers, voiding her lake fine, saving my pool party, recovering my stolen truck, foiling her power theft, stopping her sewage-powered lights, disarming her fake cop, and rebuilding my sister's bridge. My firm, Crescent Holdings, also held Karen's home mortgage, a fact she'd overlooked. Karen Miller, mid-50s, was a desperate bully, her clipboard a flimsy prop for her control obsession. Exiled, jailed, and bankrupted, she'd branded me a renter to justify her eviction notice, unaware that I owned my land, her mortgage, and her financial fate. Her scheme, backed by a few HOA diehards, relied on a forged renter list, blind to my cameras and authority. Key allies included my wife, Alex, a Delta Force operative, my sister, Mia, a nurse, my mother, Ellen, a sharpshooter with dialysis, Tom, my biologist friend who monitored my lake, Linda, the councilwoman who backed my fights, Lily, my waitress-turned-leader, and the Thompsons, especially Dr. James Thompson. Deputy Harris, my SWAT friend, led the response, and my FBI contact, Agent Laura Chun, was ready to escalate. The Crescent Meadows Forum, our digital hub, would amplify the fight. The setting was a crisp March morning in 2026 at my farmhouse porch on a county road, where Karen's notice flapped in the breeze. My orchard, blooming vibrantly, defied her claims. My cameras, wired for ranch and home safety, caught her trespass and rant. Neighbors, hearing her renter slur, gathered in outrage. Karen's extortion was a federal crime, and her ignorance of my mortgage control was her fatal error. This wasn't just about a notice. It was Karen's final assault on Crescent Meadows' freedom. For me, it was a chance to protect my home, expose her lie, and unite our community. As I filmed, I knew this fight would echo our victories and redefine our town's power. Karen's notice was a delusional power grab. Renters vacate, it demanded, taped to my porch as she sneered about my orchard. I filmed, shouting, "This is my land, Karen. I own this house and your mortgage." Her jaw dropped. She hadn't known my firm's reach. I called Harris, who laughed. "Extortion and trespass? She's broke." Ellen, tending Emma and Liam, texted my deed and mortgage records, saying Karen's homeless. Linda vowed to bring county officials, noting, "Faking an eviction on a federal inspector? Prison." I alerted Agent Chun, who snapped, "This is FBI-level fraud. We're on it." Neighbors swarmed, filming the notice. My forum post exploded. Karen called me a renter. I own her mortgage. Hashtags Karen called me renter and hashtag protect Sarah's home trended, hitting 25 million views. Jake, my barista, live streamed from Meadowmart, showing my deed and Karen's mortgage file. "Crescent Meadows owns Karen," he said, hitting 30 million views. Lily handed out flyers about extortion laws, explaining Sarah owns her land and Karen's loan. Karen's a fraud. Karen's HOA cronies, a trio with signs. No renters allowed. Try to back her, but neighbors drown them out, chanting Sarah's home. Mia, fresh from her island, shared my firm's records, proving I held Karen's loan. I shared my camera clip. "Karen's evicting me. She's my debtor." The video hit 200 million views. James Thompson arrived, saying, "She targeted us too. We're testifying." His federal clout rattled Karen's cronies. Harris's SWAT team and Chin's FBI unit arrived, reviewing my deed and mortgage files. Karen's 3 payments behind, Chun said, showing her default notice. I live-streamed. Karen called me a renter. I own her house. The stream hit 500 million views, with news helicopters circling. Comments flooded. "Sarah's a boss. Karen's evicted." Linda arrived with a county recorder, announcing Karen's notice is felony extortion. The crowd chanted home, home, as Karen's cronies fled. The FBI found Karen at her home, packing in panic. Harris cuffed her as I faxed my firm to initiate foreclosure. Karen rambled, "Renters don't belong," but Chun held up my footage and mortgage proof. "You're under federal arrest," she said. The forum planned a home-free day at Meadowmart, with music and property rights talks. Karen's lie about renter rules collapsed. My land owed nothing. The stage was set, not just to void her notice, but to crush her reign and rally Crescent Meadows around my home. Her eviction was her end, and my mortgage was my victory. My porch was a fortress of justice. Karen stood cuffed at her home, trembling, as Harris and Chun reviewed her defaulted mortgage. The livestream hit 600 million views, with hashtag Karen called me renter and hashtag protect Sarah's home trending globally. Neighbors packed my lawn, waving signs, "Sarah's home. No HOA lies." News crews broadcast live, anchors calling it a farmer's empire versus HOA delusion. The air buzzed, and I was ready to foreclose on Karen's schemes. Tom addressed the crowd, voice steady. "Sarah's land is private, HOA-exempt county land. Karen's eviction notice is felony extortion." He showed my deed and mortgage files, proving her lie. Neighbors gasped, sharing the clips online. Ellen handed out flyers, saying, "Sarah's our owner. Karen's the debtor." The forum surged. "Karen's a fraud. Sarah's our hero." A viral tweet read, "HOA Karen calls owner a renter. Doesn't know she owns her mortgage. Hashtag Karen called me renter." Karen screamed, "I'm the landlord." But Chin held up my footage, stating, "You forged an eviction. Felony fraud." Her face collapsed. She hadn't known my firm. National financial groups joined X, posting, "Karen's attack on Sarah's home is a disgrace. Support Crescent Meadows." The Change.org petition, "Justice for Sarah's home," hit 30 million signatures with comments like "Sarah's a legend" and "Karen's done." Linda spoke to reporters, voice firm. "Sarah's home and power are our pride. Karen's lies threaten us all." She announced a council motion to fine the HOA $700,000 and ban all operations. The crowd roared, chanting "Home free." The HOA, gutted by scandals, leaked texts disavowing Karen. "She's rogue." Neighbors guarded my orchard as my farm hands patrolled the ranch. I grabbed the megaphone, heart pounding. Karen thought she could evict me, but I'm a federal inspector and I own her mortgage. I proposed a home-free day at Meadow Mart with mortgage literacy talks, music, and a fundraiser for housing rights, inviting all. The crowd cheered, volunteering to audit HOA records. I shared online, "Karen's eviction failed. Join us for Sarah's home." The live stream hit 700 million views, with hashtag #HomeFreeDay trending. Comments flooded, "Sarah's unstoppable. Karen's homeless." Karen made a last stand, yelling at Chun, "The HOA's above you." But Rachel, my attorney, arrived with a federal indictment. "You're charged with extortion, fraud, and trespass," she said, as Harris tightened her cuffs. The crowd parted, phones filming her walk to the FBI van. Jake's stream hit 900 million views, with comments like "Bye, Karen." "Home wins." News ran headlines. "Federal inspector's mortgage ownership crushes HOA Karen's eviction lie." Lily organized kids to paint home-free signs, while Tom tied it to my lake, saying "Sarah protects our rights." Harris secured my porch, and neighbors cheered. Chun protected my deed, and Linda promised county funding for a Crescent Haven sign, marking my home status. The stage was set for a victory that would secure my home, end Karen's reign, and show Crescent Meadows' power. Karen was cuffed, but what happened next would shock everyone. The federal courthouse roared with justice as Karen faced trial, my home standing tall. The live stream hit 1 billion views, with hashtag Karen called Marinter and hashtag Protect Sarah's Home trending worldwide. Neighbors packed the gallery, waving home-free signs as news crews filmed. I held the megaphone, my roles as federal inspector and mortgage holder now a verdict, my evidence our blade, ready to bury Karen. Judge Therese, a federal veteran, called order. "Ms. Miller, you're charged with extortion, fraud, and trespass," he said. Rachel presented my footage, showing Karen's renter rant and notice. "The plaintiff owns her land and the defendant's mortgage," she said. The gallery cheered, phones filming for the forum, where comments surged. "Karen's done. Sarah's our queen." Chun testified, voice sharp. Karen's eviction notice was deliberate fraud and endangered a family. She showed my mortgage files, sparking gasps. Linda announced the council's $700,000 HOA fine and dissolution vote. The crowd chanted "Home, home," as kids waved painted houses, symbols of our win. Tom showed my camera logs, proving Karen's intent. "Sarah's ownership crushed her," he said, sparking applause. I unveiled a Crescent Haven sign sketch, county-backed, to mark my home status. "This home is mine, not Karen's," I said, sharing it online, a house under a state seal. The forum erupted. "Perfect. Sarah's legacy." Torres reviewed the evidence, footage, deed, mortgage, calling it overwhelming. Karen, pleading not guilty, claimed she's a renter. But Rachel played her notice, exposing her lies. Torres ruled, guilty on all counts. 5 years for Miller, $1.7 million in damages to Sarah, and HOA dissolution. The gallery roared as Karen slumped, broken. My digital dossier, footage, deed, mortgage, was handed to the press, ensuring conviction. News ran it live. Federal inspectors' mortgage ownership halts HOA Karen's eviction fraud. The crowd surged, music blaring, as home-free day plans took shape. I gave the mic to Alex, who shone. "Our home's ours," she said, calm. Neighbors hugged her, guarding our ranch in solidarity. This wasn't just Karen's defeat. It was Crescent Meadows' triumph, proof our rights could outshine lies. As my home stood firm, justice landed. Karen's conviction was Crescent Meadows' victory. News ran headlines like "Mortgage owner defeats HOA Karen's renter lie," and "Sarah's home triumphs." The live stream hit 2.5 billion views, with hashtag Karen called my renter trending for weeks. Fan art of my farmhouse as a justice symbol flooded the forum, and housing groups invited me to speak. Talk shows called, but I stayed grounded, saying this is about our community. Home Free Day was a sensation. Thousands joined, neighbors, kids, Harris's team, touring my ranch, dancing, and unveiling the Crescent Haven sign. Meadow Mart catered, and Tom led eco talks, tying the home to my lake's bluefins. The event raised $1.8 million for housing rights, and state leaders hailed it as a model. The forum buzzed with photos. Sarah's home shines. No more Karens. The HOA was eradicated. Linda's vote fined it $700,000 and dissolved it, with new laws banning fraudulent evictions. Karen got 5 years, was banned from Crescent Meadows, and vanished to a prison cell. Her home foreclosed by my firm, reportedly arguing over rules. Don't evict like Karen became a local joke painted on fences. My home became a tourist draw, with visitors posing by the sign. Meadow Mart and my farm stand soared, the cafe hosting Haven nights with music and mortgage literacy talks. Tourists flocked to Sarah's home, boosting sales. Neighbors brought gifts, mini houses, badge patches, saying my fight inspired them. Tom's data showed my lake thriving, celebrated at a community feast. The digital dossier, footage, deed, mortgage was studied for property laws, influencing policy. Lily mentored kids, painting eco signs for the ranch. The forum planned a Haven Fest with music, housing talks, and SWAT drills, cementing our spirit. Sarah turned Karen's lie into our triumph. One post read, I hired teens to guard my orchard, giving them pride. At the fest, under a Haven Forever banner, Linda toasted to Sarah, Alex, Mia, and Crescent Meadows, where homes defeat tyrants. Fireworks burst, kids danced, and my home glowed. Karen's notice had been a spark, but we built a legacy. Meadow Mart, my ranch, and my home were our stronghold, proof no bully could claim our rights. As stars shone, I knew Crescent Meadows would always stand proud, free, and untouchable.